Hi, I'm Ilona. Welcome to Yoga with Ilona. In this video, I'm going to be taking you through a longer Vinyasa flow class, which is targeted for those with an existing level of practice in yoga and for those that want to challenge themselves physically a little more. If you are a beginner, I will link some beginners videos in the description box underneath, but also please do feel free to give this video a go and just modify as you need. Skip out the poses that you find too challenging at this time. If you do enjoy this video, please subscribe to my channel. It's free and I post yoga practices and how-to videos every single week. We are going to start seated on our mat and we are going to find our breath. We are going to start facing in this direction on our mat with our legs stretched out. You can take a bend in the knees and just find a way of sitting that's comfortable for you. You might want to take quite a loose cross leg and then just find your breath. Take one hand to your chest and one to your belly and begin to breathe in and out through the nose, taking the air all the way down so that your belly swells as you breathe in and you feel the breath rise up into your chest. And then as you exhale from the belly first, then the abdomen and then the chest. Keep focusing on slowing down and smoothing out your breathing. Listen to the sound of your breath in your throat, engaging Ujjayi if you choose to do so, and finding stillness. Just gently let go of any external thoughts and keep drawing your attention back onto your breathing. You might want to set some kind of intention for your practice as you connect with your breathing too. Feeling those exhales growing longer as you expand the lungs. And now we're going to take some gentle head rolls, taking the chin from one shoulder over to the other, gently warming up the back of the neck. Make sure not to drop the weight of your head behind your spine at any time. Bringing the head back to center, now take your feet out in front of you with a bend in the knees. Taking the hands behind the knees, we're going to go for a seated cat and cow. So breathing in as you open the chest forward, breathing out as you scoop back with the spine, keeping your belly hugging into the spine the whole time. Exhaling round, inhale, really open across the chest. Exhale, scoop lower than before. See if you can find a wider range of motion with each round of cat-cow. And then you can just straighten the spine again. Make some gentle movements with the head and neck. And then we will make our way to lying on our backs with our legs straight out in front of us. Make sure you're comfortable, shoulder blades down on the back. And then you're going to hug the right knee into the chest as tightly as you can. Maybe give it a rock from side to side before making big circles with the knee, using your hand to help you, working into that hip and the hip flexor, and then take the circles in the other direction. warming up through the hips. Notice any tightness and tension. And then bring your right arm into a cactus shape whilst you twist the right knee over your body, coming into a spinal twist. Your right knee might not be all the way down on the mat on the other side. Prop it up if you need to. Breathe into the space where you feel the twist. Then on an exhale, make your way gently back out of the pose, hugging your right knee in and then straightening it out, ready to switch sides. So just hugging the left knee in first of all, keeping that right hip planted the whole time before you start to make circles with the left knee. You can use one hand or both hands to create those circles, first going in one direction and then changing direction when you're ready. Notice how this hip feels different to on the other side and appreciate those differences. Taking the left arm into a cactus shape, turning the head over towards the left. We're going to twist in the opposite direction. Once again, prop that left knee up if you need to, using a hand or a block. Feel free to pause the video at any time to make sure you're fully comfortable in the pose. Breathing deeply into the space where you feel the twist. And exhaling, hug the left knee back into the chest. Then taking both hands to the backs of the knees, rock your way up to seated, tucking the chin in, taking a few rolls along the spine if this is okay for you. And cross the legs over, rolling all the way forward into a tabletop position. Make sure your back is really aligned, knees hip width distance apart, and hands underneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes under, take a breath in, and then when you're ready, exhale, push back onto the thighs with the knees lifted, extending the spine out, really engaging those legs before you exhale to push all the way into a really nice extended downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet. Notice how the backs of the legs are feeling today. Enjoy exploring your downward dog. And then get ready to tiptoe the feet all the way up to the top of the mat. Ready to come into a forward fold. Just hang the head and arms heavy for a moment. And then we'll begin to roll our way very, very slowly up to standing, taking as much time as you can to reach that standing position, leaving the head and neck till last as always. Rolling the shoulders a few times, finding your strong Tadasana mountain pose with the hands at heart center. Take a deep grounding breath into the belly here. Then with your next inhale, you're going to spread the arms wide and lift them overhead, and then bow forward into a forward fold. As you inhale, come up halfway with a straight spine, then plant the hands and step back on the right foot. Bringing the knee down, open up into a low lunge, breathing in here, and then plant the hands and step back to plank as you exhale. Breathe in once again in plank and then come through a chaturanga vinyasa, through upward dog and back to downward facing dog. As you're ready, inhale to lift the right foot high, three-legged dog, and then engage the core to step all the way forward into a low lunge on the other side. Breathing in, opening the chest forward, and then with an exhale, step smoothly forward into your forward fold once again. And then inhaling all the way up to standing, bring the hands down through a prayer position, ready for the next side. Inhaling, spread the arms Exhale, fold forward. Breathing into the belly as you lift halfway, engage your core, plant the hands, and then step back on the left this time, lowering the left knee down and coming into that low lunge. Plant the hands and step back to a nice straight plank. Inhale there, and then exhale, chaturanga, and inhale to upward facing dog with the thighs lifted. Exhale to downward dog. And then stepping forward on the left side this time, bring the right knee down for your low lunge once again. And then with a big exhale, step forward into your forward fold. And breathing in, come up slowly into Tadasana again. We're going to begin our next flow with chair pose. So prepare by grounding down through the base of both feet before lifting the arms and sitting down as low as you can into the hips for a really strong chair position. Then bring the hands to heart center, and we're going to twist over towards the right knee, hooking the left elbow over the top of that right knee. You can allow the left knee to drop slightly forward to protect the lower back. And then if you want to challenge yourself even more, you can open the arms wide into a T shape, or just keep them there in a prayer position. Then really ground down into that right foot and step as gracefully as you can back into a high lunge, keeping the arms twisted around. Again, you can open up into that T shape, really engaging through the core. Breathe into the space where you feel the twist as you stay really grounded through both feet. And then we'll bring the left knee down. And on an inhale, you're going to unwind and come into a lifted low lunge with the arms up overhead. Taking a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, bring the hands down either side of the right foot. And with your next exhale, push back into half split position. Inhale, come forward, low lunge. Exhale, half split or runner stretch. And we'll do a couple more stretching and working into those hips. Stretching out the back of the right leg. Inhaling once more. Exhale, push back. Lift the toes if you want to. And then come forward once again, planting the hands, and we're going to step back into a plank pose. Inhaling in plank, fill up the lower back, drop halfway down as you breathe out, and then inhale up. Dog, exhale, downward facing dog. And then inhale to lift the right leg high and scoop it forward between the hands. Low lunge once again. Hopefully those hips are feeling really nice and open now. And then you can exhale back to your forward fold at the top of the mat. Hang over the legs for a moment, feeling that openness in the backs of the legs that we're creating. And then inhale to come up smoothly through Tadasana. And we'll get ready to go on to the next side. So first of all, inhaling to lift the arms up. And then sitting down into a super low, super strong chair pose, making sure not to let the knees drop in or twist at all, and then twisting the body over the left leg, keeping the hands in a prayer position, or once again opening them up into that T shape and looking up towards the left thumb if that's in your practice. Or just try it out, and if you wobble around, don't worry too much. And then we'll step back on the right leg. Staying really strong in that high lunge with the arms twisting around. Keep breathing into the space where you feel the twist. Really lifting through the fronts of the thighs. And then drop the right knee down and find yourself in that low lunge once again. And then inhale to lift the arms, rising up strongly through the core. As you breathe out, we'll step back to plank and move our way through the half split and low lunge as you breathe. exhale, half split, lifting the toes. Inhale, low lunge again. Again, noticing how it feels different on the left to the right and honouring those differences on the two sides of the body. And after your next round, prepare to come through a Vinyasa again. So exhaling to that half split position and then plant the hands, step back to plank, and then come through your flow into upward dog and downward facing dog. You can lift the left leg high, scoop it forward between the hands, and drop the right knee down. Then step forward into a forward fold, again at the top of your mat. Breathing in, come all the way up into Tadasana and then make your way to the center of your mat. Ready for some balancing, starting with eagle. So first of all, cross your right leg over your left and hook the foot behind the ankle as well if you want to. And then do the same with the arms. So hook your right arm inside your left and then bind the hands. And come as low down as you can, as though into a chair pose with the left leg. And then take some really deep breaths in your eagle pose, breathing into the belly, feel it press against the thigh. Really challenge yourself to stay in the pose longer than your mind wants you to. Feel that burn in the left thigh and just keep focusing on your breathing. And take a deep breath in and one exhale out before we get ready to unwind the legs, lower the hands down to the mat, and if you can, keep your right foot off the floor and kick it all the way back up into a standing split position. And then as you exhale, stepping back down into your forward fold position. And with a big inhale, come all the way up through standing and bring the hands back down to the heart, ready for some balances on the other side. Starting by crossing the right arm under the left this time and binding the hands, and then cross the left leg over the right, hooking the left toes behind the right calf and then squatting all the way down into your eagle pose. Keep focused with your eyes on one spot in front of you that doesn't move. This is your drishti that will help you to balance. And keep focusing on your breath. Sometimes we can hold our breath when we're trying to balance, and actually this makes it even harder. Then to come out of the pose, exhale, plant the hands down and kick the left leg all the way back behind you, keeping the right leg really strong for your standing split position before you exhale down into that forward fold once again. And then when you're ready, come all the way back up to standing, rolling the spine this time. Next, we're going to cross the right ankle onto the top of the left knee and squat down into a stretch for the outside of the hip and the glute. You might need to reposition your ankle so that it's comfortable on your thigh. And then you are going to try and bring the hands into a prayer position, bracing the backs of the upper arms onto the front of the knee and the front of the ankle. Or you can take the hands down to the mat. An even more challenging version is to plant the hands in front of you as though for a crow pose, and then brace the right shin on the backs of the arms and lift the left foot off. You can just try that for a second and then come back into your standing figure of four or Ekapada Utkatasana. And then on an exhale, rise all the way up to standing, and we're going to come straight back into a dancer's pose, gripping the inside of the right foot with your right hand and kicking into the hand until your body tips forward, stretching out the front of the hip and the whole of the upper body. And then as you exhale, slowly come out of dancer's pose, stepping back into Tadasana. Ready for the left side, crossing the left ankle over the top of the right knee, making sure it's not on the joint itself, but on the fleshy part above your knee, before squatting down and hooking your elbows over the front of the left shin. Keep gazing forward. And then if you want to, stay here or try lowering your hands down to the mat, ready for that arm balance that we did on the other side. Trying to lift the right foot off the mat as high as it can go. And the next step would be to straighten it all the way back behind you. And then you can come out of that and come back up into your standing position. Ready for dancer's pose on the left this time. So just stretch out the front of the left hip and then grab the left foot with the left hand on the inside before tipping forward, kick the left foot into the left hand to create that back bend. And remember not to hold your breath. Keep breathing through the nose. And then we can just take a gentle forward fold. Maybe interlace the hands to stretch out the front of the chest if that feels good. And then you can, in your own time, lower your way all the way down. Exhaling into child's pose with the arms extended out. You could also take them down either side of your legs for a more restorative version of the pose. Just resting in child's pose, focusing on your breathing. Breathe down into your belly. Feel your breath filling up the back body and feel your belly pressing into your thighs as you breathe in. And then slowly from there, with an inhale, just make your way forward to lying on your stomach. And we're going to go for a reclined twist, but this time facing the ground. So you're going to pick up your right foot, bending the knee, and then twist your right foot all the way over the top of your body so that you get a really deep twist through the abdomen and the spine. Breathe into the space where you feel the twist, and then exhale, moving the head over to the other side, ready to pick up the left foot and then sweep it over the top, coming into that twist again. Make sure not to twist too far over. If you feel any kind of pinching anywhere, then come out of the pose straight away. Exhaling, just wiggle out the hips to bring the spine back into a neutral position, and then you can push your way over to lying on your back, ready for Shavasana. First of all, you might want to just bend the knees deeply and give yourself a big hug, maybe a gentle rock from side to side. Just stretching out those hip flexors once again before taking the legs mat-width distance apart, making sure the shoulder blades are down on the back and your palms are facing up towards the ceiling. Close your eyes and make your way into a peaceful, restful Shavasana. You can lose your focus on the breath and just enjoy some stillness at the end of your yoga practice. Bring your awareness back into your body now, and we'll just begin to take some deeper breaths once again and slowly make some gentle movements with the hands and feet. You might want to then stretch your arms up overhead and point your toes down away from you, stretching the whole body out along the floor. And then with an exhale, bring the arms back down and roll your way over to lying on one side, just to rest on one side for a moment, propping the head onto the hands. And when you're ready, push your way up sideways using your hands, so don't just pull up on your neck, push your way up to a comfortable seated position. So you can come into cross-legged or a low kneel. Bring the hands to the thighs or the knees, and then take some nice full breaths into the belly, abdomen and chest. Notice how the breath feels different following your yoga practice. One more full breath here and a long exhale. And then I invite you to bring your hands to heart center, bow your head slightly and thank yourself for practicing yoga today. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope that you enjoyed this practice. If you did, please give this video a like, comment to tell me what you thought and what you'd like to see next, and subscribe to my channel for new videos every single week. I hope you have a beautiful day. Goodbye.